Hi, Room 11. I am here to talk to you about your Thursday writing assignment, which is a fun one. You get to use your imagination for this one. It says, imagine you were carried away by a bunch of balloons. Where did you go and what happened? So the first thing we need to think about is, what is the prompt really asking of us? Imagine, let's use your imagination, you were carried away by a bunch of balloons. That's sort of the first step. Do some imagining, and we'll do some of that in a minute. And then, where did you go? So that would be a place. Where is a place word? And what happened? So we're going to take it step by step, starting with number one. Imagine you were carried away by a bunch of balloons. Okay, let me picture that in my head. Let me get a different color. Bunch of balloons. Okay, do this with me if you want. It's fun to imagine things. Bunch of balloons, I'm holding on to it. And it starts carrying me away. Okay, I guess I would have to be outside. Well, not necessarily, but outside would be more interesting than inside. If I'm inside, I'm just gonna bump up onto the ceiling. So outside, okay. Balloons outside, okay. Where would I go? I guess I would go up over my house. Or I could really go anywhere I want. Down the street, over to Nugget, to the park. A lot of possibilities. And what happened? Okay, so a little piece of adventure. Okay, let me think about that. What would happen? Well, carried up by a bunch of balloons, I'm gonna picture that I go up over the park that's by my house. And what would happen there? Well, if I'm at a park, what would I see? I guess I would see some dogs running around, maybe some people taking some walks. I guess I would see some cars on the way. I wonder if anyone would look up and say, what's happening up there? Why is that person being carried away by balloons? Ah, okay, so that was my brainstorming. I'm going to start you off here, and this time I think I'm going to use a sentence frame for you, so you can add more of your ideas, not necessarily just see my ideas. Of course, we need a topic sentence. Imagine if you were carried away by a bunch of balloons. If I was carried away by a bunch of balloons, I would blank. I would scream, I would yell, I would laugh. Some kind of action verb there. I would cry. I would I would wonder what was happening. So you can put a verb in there. If I was carried away by a bunch of balloons, I would blank. Okay, part two. Where did you go? Okay. I would float to what place? I put noun there. Now, if it's a proper noun, like I would float to Target, you need a capital letter. If it's a common noun like the park or the trees, that can be lowercase. So this is your where piece. And then what happened? big blank there for you because this is the part where you need to use your imagination and link up where you went with what could possibly happen there. So if I said I would float to Target, then what happened would be something related to Target. I would see all the shopping carts. I would float all the way up to the sign and grab a hold of it. Whatever happens relates to the place. The place. So if I went up into the trees, I would float to the trees. What's related to trees? I would look for birds' nests. I would grab the leaves. So these things are linked together depending on what you pick. I would float to the roof. What happened? I would see my neighbors pointing and yelling. So these things they kind of work together. And then feel free to keep going. You can give many details about what happened. You could talk about all kinds of crazy adventures. But if you're done, this is this is what we need, the pieces of the writing. Main idea, detail, 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 and then a conclusion. Let's think of something exciting for the conclusion, because this is a pretty exciting writing prompt. This would be blank. What kind of experience would this be? Funny? Silly? Crazy? Ridiculous? Hilarious? So think of an adjective here that you can use to end your paragraph with your conclusion statement. Then when you are finished, go back, double check. Did you cover all three things? Imagine you were carried away by a bunch of balloons. If I was carried away by a bunch of balloons, okay, looks like I got that part under control. I would blank. I would float to blank. That's a place word. Okay, that's my where did I go? Yep, got that. And this is my spot where I'm going to talk about what happened. So I've got that worked out. My conclusion, double checking periods, capitals, spelling, carried, that's one of these. Change the Y to an I. So I know that one's correct, balloons is correct, I's are capital. All right, I can't wait to read what you've written. Thank you.